And showtime. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the ChannelPro 5-Minute Roundup. A look at news, trends, and tips for the SMB channel in 5 minutes or thereabouts. My name is Rich Freeman. I'm the executive editor of the ChannelPro Network, one of your hosts for this program. With me, as always, is my co-host, Erick Simpson, who is a business transformation and improvement consultant for MSPs and other IT providers. Erick, how goes it this week?
It goes fantastic, Rich. It's a little bit overcast here this week in overcast Southern California. How's the weather in your neck of the woods?
It is. It's just Seattle drizzly. It's just the way we like it.
Just the way you like it. Well, there you go. Awesome.
Well, happy Friday. Here we are, both at home for a change.
Yeah, it's been a while since we haven't been traveling back and forth, and we broke our streak of doing the 5-minute roundup together. But I think we'll be able to catch up maybe the beginning of next month, as we'll be at the ChannelPro conference in May.
That is right. Yeah, May 1st and 2nd, you will be a speaker there. I'll be doing some moderating. So looking forward to the show. And anyone who's interested actually in learning about our events can go to events.channelpronetwork.com to get more details. The event we're referring to here is in Chicago, but in September, we'll be in San Jose. In November, we'll be in the Newark area in New Jersey, and encourage you to check that out. Well, our top story actually relates to an event that neither one of us attended this week, but I thought it was worth kind of calling out as well. Now, the obvious top story for the week probably would have been the giant wave of data center products that Intel came out with this week, and that's definitely interesting news to anyone who does business with Intel. But I decided to focus in this week on some news from NetSuite, the cloud ERP folks. They had their Suite World partner event earlier this week in the Bay Area. And in connection with that, they introduced a new program associated with their partner program called Suite Life. Now, what's significant about it basically is that in the past, if you wanted to become a NetSuite partner, you really had to kind of master the entire platform from a technical and a sales process to be able to do that. And what they've done now is create a sort of defined, prescribed process that partners can use to onboard as a NetSuite partner and really learn the basic things that they need to know to get a NetSuite practice off the ground. And they're saying that you can do it in about 90 days. So what's significant about this to me, you look at so many of the different services and revenue sources that our readers rely on today. A lot of those, if they're not commoditized already, they're rapidly becoming commoditized. And one of the options, the alternatives for the future that we've been talking about at ChannelPro for a while now, in terms of preserving your top and bottom line, is getting into some of these born in the cloud native kinds of business solutions, such as NetSuite, such as, of course, Salesforce, such as Microsoft Dynamics, for example. One of the big barriers to doing that, and one of the reasons these services are so profitable, is that you require some expertise to sit down with a customer and really kind of help them take advantage of an ERP platform or a CRM platform. And so that's been, part of what makes these lucrative opportunities. It's also part of what has made them difficult for more channel pros to take advantage of. So it was interesting to me to see NetSuite maybe acknowledge that a little bit. And create a program that, they're saying 3 months and you're on board, you're part of the channel, you're beginning to make some money as a NetSuite partner. It seems like something worth checking out for folks.
Right. And, I think it reflects a maturity level on NetSuite's part to really understand that, in order to move the needle for their channel partners, they really got to get them hit the ground running quickly. Instead of requiring, all of these certifications and this long drawn out process, as it sounds like it was in the past, try to focus on what can they do quickly to get those partners to identify low hanging fruit opportunities, to experience that sales success and that deployment success, quickly, to get them to continue to want to move forward and grow that relationship between themselves and NetSuite. So I think it's, probably a good financial strategy, but also a good channel partner program strategy in all.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. obviously providing a 90-day on-ramp to the program sort of lowers the barrier to entry, but it also improves the odds of success. Essentially, people are less likely to drop out along the way if they can get in quickly and easily enough to start, as you were saying, get a few deals out there, start making some revenue, and start experiencing what it is to be a NetSuite partner, and then grow from there.
Absolutely.
Well, let's take a look at your tip of the week here, Eric, which has to do with holding your employees accountable, but really kind of doubling down on that.
Yes, doubling down on accountability. I had a recent experience with one of my consulting clients, and it was a very simple, typical, what do I do when my employees are, showing up late, when I'm not around, kind of a thing. And I'm like, should I, wait and talk to them later, wait and see what they put on their time card? Everybody, the best time to hold your team accountable is as soon as they step outside the line or color outside the box or draw outside. You've got to, let them know that you're watching, that you're mindful of what they're supposed to be doing, because trust me, they're mindful that you're of what you're doing and when you're supposed to be doing it. They expect you to, sign that check when it's payday and make sure they get paid and all that. And so, the best time to hold someone accountable when you feel that they've kind of walked the line or maybe have gone a little bit over too far is immediately. Be transparent, have an open conversation and open dialogue so everyone knows where you stand. And, Rich, one of the things that I find is detrimental is when, a leader begins to hold some of the team accountable, but lets others get away with murder, right? I've seen that a lot. And especially in some cases where, it may be a situation where it's a family-run business and things like that. Trust me, the staff is watching, and, they're going to feel a certain way about you not holding everyone accountable at the same level of accountability. So be very clear on what the expectations are. Document job roles and procedures. Make sure your staff knows what it is that they're supposed to be doing all day long and how their performance is being measured. And then regularly give them feedback, positive as well as constructive feedback. Okay, when they're doing a great job, pat them on the back, attaboy. And I like to, err on the side of more reviews per year rather than less. Waiting for a year to go by to let somebody know how they're doing doesn't help anybody. If you can get down to doing quarterly reviews and think about it, I know it's a lot of work, but the more often you do them, the shorter they get, and just course correct along the way. But, when somebody steps across the line, hey, just treat it like, hey, I'm going to give you a speeding ticket this time, And, we all tend to speed. When we get a speeding ticket, we slow down. We're extra careful for a while, but sometimes, that foot gets heavy again. And, we need another speeding ticket. So think about that. Course correct, hold them accountable, let them know what the rules of engagement are, and treat everyone the same way. Don't show any favoritism, and make sure that everyone understands that the moment that you kind of color outside the box, they're going to get a speeding ticket. So keep everybody in check.
The more times that you speed and don't get a ticket, the likelier you are to keep speeding, basically. So there are a lot of things in there that I really kind of agree with from a management perspective, in terms of, being consistent with all of your employees, being very clear and communicating with people regularly about what the expectations are, how they're doing against those expectations. But, I'm also, for exactly the reason that you specified there, a big believer in the idea that the time to deal with a problem is now. It's just very easy to say, I'm going to deal with this a little bit later. I've got this other issue, this crisis, this fire I've got to put out. When you spot a problem, whether it's a big one or a small one, the time to deal with it is now. Because the small problems become big ones if you don't deal with them in a timely fashion. So yeah, I think it is important. You see somebody doing something they shouldn't be doing, or failing to do something that they should. Don't wait. Let them know what's going on right away. I think it's going to benefit everybody in the long run.
Yeah, and I've seen the situation where somebody has just let them slide, and then finally get to the point where it's just, I can't take it anymore. And then they kind of explode and kind of this, well, you're kind of overreactive. If you haven't brought this to somebody's attention so far and they've been doing it for months, and now all of a sudden you're going to hit them with both barrels, it kind of, that's not the right approach either, right? So again, do it early and when necessary, and that way it doesn't tend to creep, and get you all frustrated when you're having a bad day and decide that, oh, now I've got an easy target to go after, right?
Yep, absolutely. Well, that leaves us with time for just one more story this week. And, really, just given the innovative nature of this particular story, it probably should have been our lead story, which is that Eaton, the power management company, has been or has sponsored the very first airborne data center. We were talking about NetSuite and cloud computing before. Who knew that there are 4 747s flying around 24/7 right now? The world's first truly cloud-based data center. I mean, it's you know what that is? Actually, it's total BS, is what it is. This is an April Fool's prank from the folks at Eaton that I actually found kind of amusing. It was that week, Monday. It was time for the April Fool's stories from a number of different technology companies. Amazon had a few, Google had a few, including one about Google Tulip, which is a service that can communicate with your flowers, very useful in terms of having them tell you when it's time to be watered and so on. I did think it was interesting, understandable, but maybe just a little bit sad that there was an executive communication at Microsoft basically telling everybody at the company, no April Fool's pranks this year, folks. Let's just steer clear of that. So I guess whether that's a good thing or a bad thing depends on how you feel about April Fool's Day.
Yeah, I was reading that one from Microsoft, and I was trying to figure out, is this actually an April Fool's joke and in disguise somehow? But it looked legit to me, so go figure.
Yeah, I had the same thought, but yeah, I think they just decided to sit it out this year, and we'll see if people thank them for that or kind of miss the fun of some of the stuff that they used to do. Well, that is all the time we've got this week on the 5-Minute Roundup. Thank you so much for joining us. If you like the show, you want to look at some past episodes, keep up to speed on the new ones as they're coming down the pike, what you want to do is go to YouTube and subscribe to the ChannelPro Network channel there. We will keep you informed about everything concerning the 5-Minute Roundup. For more information about NetSuite and their new partner program, business growth strategies, product announcements, partner program changes, everything going on in the industry that you care about, go to channelpronetwork.com on a daily basis. We've got great content going up there for you every day. To learn more about Eric and his business and the work he does with his clients, you want to go to ericksimpson.com. That's ERICK Simpson.com. Thank you again for joining us on the 5-Minute Roundup. We will be back in a week with another episode. Until then, enjoy the rest of your week. Eric and I are enjoying the rest of your week already.